I'm live. Alright, am I heard? Hello? 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 I think I'm heard. Pretty well, yeah. I'm, testing. Yeah, that works. Hello, everyone. My name is May Havoc, and welcome back to another livestream of Hollow Knight Sealed Siblings Challenge. It has been a little while. I'm not sure when I last livestreamed. It might have been at the beginning of the month, which is why I said that I'm rusty. I also might have laundry to do, so I might, like, let the beginning cutscenes run. But yeah, a lot has happened. I got a partner now, and that's new. And I started playing Inscription again. I've also been gone for most of my weekends, which is why I wasn't able to do much. Uh, Last weekend I was just really lazy, actually. But so I just haven't played Hollow Knight for an entire month. But yeah, I'm gonna let this cutscene run, and I'll be back after I do my laundry. Okay, I'm back. Apologies for that. I should have done my laundry before deciding to start stream, which is completely on me. So that just adds game time, but I say I'm rusty, but I'm not actually sure how rusty I am. But like a month of not playing is like enough to miss a jump. But you know, I should still be fine in terms of routing. I did play a little bit of Steel Soul on my Switch, although I kept dying mostly because of the unfamiliarity of the controller. So it was mostly like in the beginning that I kept dying, but I should be good to just go through the game again. And see, I should probably talk about stuff that I was doing in my slight break. I mean, because February was definitely a very busy month for me. I think the weekend after my last stream, I went to a college to perform a cappella, of course. Because I'm not sure if I talk about it too much, but I am a part of my high school's a cappella group, or at least one of them. And our weekends were just very busy. And then on top of that, I also started playing an old game called Inscription again. And I just completed the story mode today for that. Cool. I think someone misclicked on my video. That's really cool. I'm also not sure I have a very entertaining voice. I don't know. I just figured I'd catch up. What? So I went to a college, and they tried to like convince people to come to their college, but I'm not going there. Mostly because their campus doesn't look great. Although I'm sure their school's fine. I assume I can probably. I don't know. It's not like I'm that popular. They wanted us to. We went to BGSU, Bowling Green University, and we performed an a cappella show there. And then the next weekend, we went to a high school to perform in like northern Ohio. And we did like the same songs that we did for the Bowling Green University. I keep calling it Bowling Green. It's Bowling Green. So yeah, we went to Bowling Green, and then we also went to that high school. I'm not gonna say that name. That might be a little too doxing. And then the next weekend, I just got lazy. Mostly because I haven't gotten to sleep in for any of my weekends. I don't know. I'm sure no one actually gives half a fuck about what I did, considering no one's even watching right now. But I figured, hey, if I'm gonna shout out excuses for why I wasn't playing, there's my reasons. I have a life outside of Hollow Knight. It's crazy. I know with the new update, I can't do this speed running ability anymore, so I'm just gonna have to normally fall. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna play Inscription, at least for a stream. I might do Casey's mod, if anyone's interested in that. But considering I just played the story mode again, and went through Act 1 in like 2 runs, I don't think that'd be entertaining because I don't suck at the game. I'm not learning anything, I just already know everything. I'm too good at it, basically. Although I am trying to get the platinum trophy for it. Because the last thing I need to do is complete a run of Casey's mod with every single challenge activated, which I haven't done yet. And that's the last achievement I need, even after having the game for so many years. Whoa. I don't know. It might be interesting. Also, but with how like PlayStation descriptions work, I don't really want to type out the rules for the challenge every single time. If that makes sense, because when I start a live stream, I have to give it a title, and I have to do the tags, but I also have to do that not with a keyboard or copy and paste or anything. I just have to do it on like PlayStation or console typing, which isn't exactly thrilling. I got one. That's cool. I'm proud of that, actually. Normally, I miss both of them. Cool. It was probably like the sloppiest way to do it, but I still did it. I feel like the beginning will definitely be like the most boring part. I don't know. Not a lot of stuff happens. Or at least there's nothing very like high stakes, I guess. Just make it high stakes. Walk around with 1 health all the time. Considering I haven't played either Hollow Knight or Silksong in a little bit, I'm not in exactly any rush to beat a Hollow Knight this time. Mostly because it's like I'm not getting bored of the game or feeling like I'm playing it too much, considering I just haven't played it in a long while. But the goal is kind of to just beat Hollow Knight today. Maybe play a little bit of Silksong tomorrow, or today and tomorrow. I do have stuff happening tomorrow. I got vocal lessons and stuff like that. Oh, strangely enough, today my place of work didn't schedule me. I don't really know why, because normally they do. I might have accidentally put on my schedule for them not to schedule me. I don't know. But because I'm in my school's musical, and I'm also doing all this other stuff, it's just gonna make life a little busy. Or at least it's making me so busy that I can't even go to work. So I can't even make money right now. Or at least not a lot of it. I think my last paycheck was like 30 bucks. Which isn't a ton, considering how much I need. Just for like grocery shopping. The beginning of this week was also a little weird because apparently there was like a choir concert that I didn't know was going on. So one of my rehearsals wasn't happening that day because of that concert. But I'm not in choir. I'm just in my a cappella group. So the news that there wasn't a rehearsal didn't really come to me, which I find slightly annoying because I went to the school and then left again. And in Ohio, it's just incredibly cold and hot for some reason. Like, it keeps fluctuating. So I had to stand out waiting for another bus to come for like 40 minutes after discovering that there was no rehearsal when I got to the school. I don't know. It was annoying and inconvenient. I'm sure that if I wasn't a part of my musicals ensemble, or at least just a part of the musical in some way, I wouldn't have known that there is no a cappella rehearsal happening anymore. At least not until after the musical. Which, sadly, our last real concert, a cappella concert, was the one we did on Wednesday. So our next performance is kind of just a more formal, like a cappella during a choir concert. Or, well, performance. I'm not sure I would call it a full-blown concert. Yes, high school concert? I don't know. Yep. I was like hesitating there, like should I stay or should I go? Yeah, well, that's basically the first part of the run. It's not very high stakes or anything. I feel like the part where it actually gets slightly difficult and kind of high stakes is probably fungal wastes in the Mantis village or Soul Sanctum. Especially Soul Sanctum, because it's either you risk your life trying to fight every single one of those teleporting enemies, or you risk your life trying to run away from them, which is kind of like a double-edged sword right there. Because, like, no way is good. You don't want to fight either. Fumbling on a simple enemy. Man, I wish I still remembered how to perfectly time that so that I could hit both of those boards. I don't know, it used to be like ingrained in my memory, it's just not anymore. I don't know. Technically, Soul Catcher is better than this. I don't know. And Steel Soul Fury the Fallen is good, but I don't really fall down to that much health a whole ton. Especially not in the early game. It's kind of like a soft predicament. Because, like, sometimes on this boss up ahead, I do fall down to that health. But I normally try and change that immediately. I don't know. To be fair, Fury of the Fallen could be better here, considering I still feel like I'm rusty. Like, I'm not taking any damage right now, but like I don't feel like I played that very skillfully. I don't know. Hit list though is pretty good though. Is hitless even the correct term? I feel like no hit used to be it, but then kind of got changed to where hitless works. I don't know. Yeah, I can go through on one. I don't really mind the one health difference. I can change that easily. I do know, I'm not sure if the glitch still works. I do know you could fireball one shot if you went to the right and fireballed at the right time. I don't know. It's either they patched that or I just never could do it correctly. Probably both. But okay. I feel like that's what I mean by rusty. I'm just gonna miss jumps or like really easy jumps. I think I can just jump from here. Well, I'm so glad I discovered that. I always knew there was like a little thing up there, but I thought you couldn't get up there. It was just like a weird thing. And then after like 5 years of playing this game, I finally found out that there was just a secret area above it. So I always thought you needed dash for that thing. I remember I missed that grub one time. I think it was on my first playthrough actually, because I forgot to go back and get it. Because I figured you needed dash for it, but no. There was just a freaking secret area above it. I feel so stupid for not catching it. Messed it up. You know, I think that's what I mean by rusty. I mess up fighting that Moss Knight. Or, it's not even a Moss Knight. That's the ones with shields. The Vagabonds? No. I forget what they're called. The Chargers. They're Moss Chargers. You know, it might be me, but I guess it's kind of hard to comment on a game you know so much about. That or just have no freaking personality and shouldn't be using YouTube. I don't know. I still like doing this though. I find it fun to record my playthroughs. And I love this game, so I do what I want. Although I know I'm never gonna make any revenue off YouTube or anything like that. Damn, I'm failing. Just pogo a ton. Oh, oh, oh. He couldn't handle me. He couldn't handle my aerial expertise. I wish I knew that sooner, because that makes them so much easier, actually. There we go. I finally did it perfect. And I have full health, and I have full soul. So I can instantly start the Hornet fight like a speedrunner. I'm messing up so hard right now. I wish I was hitless though. Would have been cooler. That was funny. I find that funny. That is a terrible remark. I'm a terrible YouTuber. Who am I impressing? No one's here. No one here to watch. I simply amuse myself. Hi, Quirrell. Bye, Quirrell. I'm gonna kill this guy. Alright. Cool. You know, I've heard people say they don't like how boxy, like, the movement is in Hollow Knight. And that, like, they didn't like the dash. But it's like, it's not that hard to use the dash. Like, I don't understand why. It could just be me thing. I should also validate other people's opinions. But, like, I don't understand what's so, like, disturbing about the dash in this game, though. Oh, I did hear this one. I was talking, and he said he didn't like it because but he kept comparing it to Dead Cells, and I'm like, well, Hollow Knight isn't Dead Cells, though. And you shouldn't really expect it to be Dead Cells. Like, it's not gonna have the same kind of movement. It's like, are you just gonna hate on every game because they don't have Dead Cells movement, you know? You know, and like, there were other ways to say that you just didn't like the movement other than comparing it to a game, I think. Because, like, I'm not gonna compare any game that I don't like to Hollow Knight, right? Because it's like, I really love Hollow Knight. But the thing is, it's not like, unless it's kind of like, oh, this thing kind of reminds me of Hollow Knight, I really like this, I might do it that way. I wouldn't necessarily say, I'm trying to find how to word this. Like, oh, I don't really like this game's movement. It's not like this from Hollow Knight. You know? Because in that case, it's like, well, it's not Hollow Knight, though. It's its own game, right? You know, I started to explain it, and I realized that that kind of makes no sense. And it's kind of shit. Although it does make sense that you shouldn't dislike a game because it's not like another game. But it does make sense if you're saying like, I prefer movement types similar to Dead Cells, which I'm just now realizing like, you know what, that makes sense. And the way, I think it was just the way they worded it that made it seem weird. I don't think there's anything I need from Dirtmouth at the moment. To be fair, I might not use the stag until I get uh Beretta, I think her name is. Yeah. Now we can head to Fungal Waste though, because we have the dash. What I'm gonna do there is I'm gonna get Fragile Strength. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get Fragile Heart. No, it's not here. I probably have the money to get Fragile Heart and Strength. I don't know. Oh, no. No, I don't. Yeah. Chances are we can just come back to those terms. I'm probably not gonna use Fragile Greed. Most definitely, but, I will definitely make attempts to use Fragile Heart, especially like during... I keep accidentally dashing into them. You know what? That's fine. Because the secret thing Charm Notches can do is that they heal you for some reason. Uh, what I think I can do is I can beat the Mantis Lords first, and then get Bretta. Yeah. It'd make going through that bottom area easier, because nothing's attacking me. I don't think I need to get Shriek immediately. Oh, yeah, that's not happening. I did do that once. And sad that it only happened once. Hello. Yeah, I don't really mind not having Shriek, because I can still use the Fireball on them. And that still does plenty of damage. Oh, I could have got 2 hits there. That and just using nail only still works as well. See, like that one got annihilated. And then I get hit immediately. I'm not even sure if that one got hit. I will say it is a tad bit harder to use Soul here, I think. Although I did just get 2 hits there. Yeah, that definitely hit. Yeah. Oh, that shouldn't even tried that. Got hit 3 times. That's a record right there. Got hit 3 times. I think last time it was probably just once. I don't want to put Thorns of Agony on right now because the next stop I'm going to is Fog Canyon. No, it's gonna be Bretta, then Fog Canyon. because I'm probably gonna go get her mask shard when I go up there. Yeah, I think Fog Canyon is probably the first area where your path becomes a little less linear. Kinda. I mean, even in the Forgotten Crossroads, your path isn't really linear, which I think is something that Silksong didn't really do. Because it's not really until Act 2 where it's like you're actually all over the place in terms of where you need to go, which is kind of something Hollow Knight has almost all the time, from my experience. Because it's kind of like you get Dash, and then you go to Fungal Wastes, and then immediately there's like a couple paths you can take. And hell, you can even accidentally go into a Deep Nest this early in the game. Which is like you may or may not have the ability to accommodate for that, if you farmed money or not. Which is like at this point in the game, the only way for you to have enough money for that is if you just didn't spend money at all, or you already have like 2 hours in the game from just straight farming. Because like enemies in this game, or at least the early ones, don't give you a lot of money unless you're willing to fight the hard ones, like the Moss Knights. And also given you don't die a lot. I think this is just lore over here. But it's like this early in the game, yeah, I can go into Deepness by going to the left there. Which that area is my preferred entrance. Because it allows me to get that grub at the very top. Of course, I don't think, even with my experience, that I could traverse Deep Nest without the Lumifly Lantern. That's like expert speedrunning type of stuff. And quite frankly, I don't even know if I've fully committed to speedrunning this game. I think I did once, but then I found the Watcher Knights just too difficult. But I think I got one good run, but I forget the time of it. It certainly wasn't like 30 minutes or anything. I think I'm kind of ready to say I like Hollow Knight Silksong's combat better, maybe, but mostly because of like the differences in the fluid and like maybe not the build making, although I think that might just add to the challenge of the game because like you neither have a lot of slots to make an OP build with that or have a crest that's like you can't have OP tools with like a crest that is OP if you know how to use it, you know? Because like Beast Crest like isn't really that bad once you get used to it. Because I remember I used it for like an entire run of Silksong, and that mixed with the Lifeblood, which I think can just go for any kind of build really, worked really well, especially since you want to save your silk for, or your bind for when you find enemies. But the thing is, I don't think I really like how some of the side quests work, considering some of them are kind of just like, oh, go kill this thing this many times, or they're RNG based. Like the Silver Bell quest. I absolutely hate the Silver Bell quest. But with Hollow Knight, almost from the beginning of the game, and I say almost with like a grain of salt, uh, it's not really linear in terms of exploration like uh, Silksong is. And it's like both kind of have their flaws. They never kind of fixed the map problem because like the map isn't very detailed, and Silksong's map still isn't very detailed. However, no one really complained about it, I think, as much as they did with Hollow Knight. But in terms of Hollow Knight, exploration is a lot more fun from the beginning of the game. Well, Silksong kind of has a linear pathway uh, for up until you get to Act 2, in my opinion. And that's when exploration kind of becomes like, okay, I need to go here. All right, now I need to go to the bottom right of the map. Now I need to go all the way to the top, you know? Now with Hollow Knight, I feel like I can say maybe some of it's a little linear, but I feel like that's only because I know where I'm going. So I kind of just made a linear path for myself. But if you're new to the game, you could probably spend an hour or two just trying to find out where to go, kind of like it's a Dark Souls game. Because, like, you get you get the ground pound. It might not be your first instinct to go to Crystal Peaks. It might be to explore more of City of Tears. Or, like, maybe you do remember Crystal Peaks, but you want to explore more City of Tears before you find out that there isn't really anywhere else to go. Like, I don't know. So in terms of exploration, Hollow Knight does that better, which is kind of what you need for a Metroidvania game. And I don't find any of the side quests tedious. Uh, I think I want to go up from here, actually. Yeah. So I think I'd say Hollow Knight. Well, that's still not. I thought I was ready to make a choice, but then I explained it, and it's like, because like I still think I find the Hollow Knight's combat fun, but Silksong's combat is kind of just like it takes the cake for that one. Probably because of its acrobatic feel for me. But definitely, I'd say Hollow Knight is my favorite. Silksong for its side quests where it makes you like kill an enemy a certain amount of times. I don't think I minded too much for my first playthrough, considering I was planning on doing like the Hunter's Journal anyway, so I would just kind of choose to do that, you know, for my own volition, if that makes sense. But on other playthroughs, when you're trying to just get to Act 3, you don't really care for Hunter's Journal. That's where I'd say, like, yeah, it's a little tedious. Silver Bells, I didn't complete until nearing the end of Act 2, I believe. Because I didn't know how RNG based it was, and I absolutely hate that quest. While in Hollow Knight, nothing's really RNG based. And, you know, it kind of rewards you for exploring, and I don't have to double back on anything. I guess technically in terms of side quests, the only one I'd say is the flower quest. But even with that one, you get to explore with that, you know? Because you get to discover who you can give that flower to. I'm so glad they updated the nail masters and like those small little cutscenes where it just gets randomly loud, even though your settings have it quieter. Yeah, but I like just yapped a whole bunch, and I'm still not even sure which one I call my favorite. That's a lie. Maybe. Because, like, I still really like Hollow Knight Silksong's music. Although I'm not really doing it in terms of music, because both games are really good in that sense. I'm kind of doing it based off gameplay. Or, like, at least what the game offers in terms of gameplay. And I'd say Hollow Knight, because of its exploration, its combat is still really good, even if it's less complicated as Silksong's. Oh, you know what I need to start doing? When I go to Dirtmouth, I need to go into the well so that I can get the extra seal. It's kind of hard to say which one's my favorite, but in terms of all that, I do think Hollow Knight's my favorite. But definitely, that doesn't mean I don't like Silksong any less. And it shouldn't be interpreted like that. Because quite frankly, if I had to choose, I would probably go for Silksong over Hollow Knight. Which makes what I'm saying contradictory. Because every time I keep talking, I keep changing my mind. It's kind of like that deal where it's like, they're both my children. I love them all very much. Even though they're not my children, it's Team Cherry's children. Well, it still made up a good part of my childhood, I guess. Oh, if I get lucky, I can get 2 hits on that fireball and just end the fight immediately. It's so nice. I don't really need to go to the left right now. I remember I used to struggle on this guy in the Pantheon. Which is kind of embarrassing, but I think I just kept accidentally dashing into him. Because, like, he was just slow enough that I overcomplicated him, I think. Oh, you wanna know what I should have done? I should have gone to Salubra. I forgot to do that. I think I'll be fine. It's not like I need an extra charm notch at the moment, but it's still nice to have it. Because, like, I guarantee you I could probably use... I can't use this yet, but Miss Fury of the Fallen or Dash Master would be nice to have on. Oh, I don't even have the... I was gonna do the ground pound. I don't even have that yet. And that Spell Twister is nice to have on, even at this point in the game. Well, I mean, Spell Twister is just an overpowered charm by itself, I think. But yeah, I don't need that extra charm notch right now. But definitely, the sooner I can get 3 extra, the faster I can basically have a good build at the start. I expected you to move faster. My mind is moving too fast for the boss. I think it should be moving. And then I lose damage because I realize I could have done damage in that moment. But now we have every spell, which is really cool. Hell yeah. I didn't tell you how many times I barely missed that jump, and I hate it. It forces me to ride an elevator. No one wants to ride the elevators. That's what I can do. I can open up that stag, and then I can go to the left to get the soul fragment. Because then once I get the fragment, I can go to the right and talk with Salubra. Alright, how many do it? One more again. It's always like one more every time. I could just buy another charm. I don't want those charms. Actually, it might be worth it though. How much money do I have? I just get the cheapest charm. Oh, yeah, steady body. Technically, the one of most use would be long nail, but I don't see myself using that anytime soon. I'm gonna refrain a little bit from buying any mass charge at the moment, considering I just made myself poor again. Oh, jump! Okay. Fuck you, I guess. Cool. I didn't want to, okay. I'm already fumbling. I'm rusty. Except I just got the King's Idol. That just... Just playing like a dumbass on Steel Soul. Ooh, that's lucky. I did not know you could pogo off the background here. I remember I used to struggle on this boss so much. I mean, to be fair, I feel like with a lot of the bosses in this game, some people find easier. Like, some bosses will find a boss easier than another person might, simply because of maybe a play style or something like that. So, like, for example, I spent hours on the Crystal Guardian, even though he's not that hard. But, like, I feel like everyone's first playthrough is mainly used, like, they're using soul to heal. Oh my god. This is what I mean by I'm fumbling. I just messed up one of the easiest jumps. Like, I'm kind of hesitant on going up there. Okay. We might not win this Steel Soul run. Just by that, we're gonna lose it all. That's not a hard jump, and I messed it up 2 times. I shouldn't be using soul. I might want to need that. That's what I mean. Like, this area sucks. Alright, now I can use my soul. And, like, my main strategy for even, like, staying alive there wasn't even working. I hate those guys. Hey, Camo. I'm doing pretty well. How you doing? Hey, that's an achievement right there. See, it's not every day you get 10 subs on your channel. Let alone one sub. I don't know, you caught me like in the beginning of a Steel Soul run. Yeah. Being nice to others is definitely a great way to do that. But honestly, just doing it all the time is kind of just a good thing to do in general. And it's nice to have people sub to people who do nice things and not dramatic, mean things. I probably should have saved some of that soul. I already went down there. To be fair, I think asking for subs is a little kind of annoying. It's like, maybe if you like say a remark about it at the end of your video, it's fine. But there are some people who kind of just always say it. And it feels weird because they're kind of begging for it. And it's like, dude, just be entertaining. Or nice and stuff like that. Like that, like I would hope that people who subbed to my channel actually likes watching Hollow Knight, not because some random stranger on the internet begged them to, you know? Yeah. By the way, in speaking of which, hey, you should definitely like this video. And if you're already subscribed, unsubscribe and resubscribe. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that goes for a lot of games. And I think it's Hollow Knight that made me enjoy harder games more than I enjoy other games. Because I remember, I think after I played Hollow Knight, I started playing Dark Souls. Because difficulty just gave me a whole new appreciation for video games. There are also things like, though, it's not necessarily a game's hard that makes me like it, it's because it's challenging. And there's a difference between those things. Because, like, it feels nice to complete a challenge. But if a video game is hard to be hard, like they just bump numbers up and make every enemy beefy as heck, it's not really fun, it's kind of just annoying. And you're not sensing, like, you don't get a feeling of pride for completing that like hard game. You get a sense of like annoyance and you're like, oh, finally, I finally beat that. Of course, even challenging video games have stuff like that. Like, I'm not sure if you ever played Dark Souls, but there's a boss called the Bed of Chaos. That boss is not fun at all, and it's annoying to fight that thing. I don't think I need to go up here. Hold up, my mental map is faltering a little bit. Yeah, I think it's up that I need to go. Yeah. Honestly, if you like playing hard games, I definitely recommend Dark Souls. Yeah, Dark Souls 1 is the game I'm talking about. They have an enemy called the Bed of Chaos, and I don't find it fun at all to fight that thing. But it's a required boss, so you kind of just have to tough it out and beat it. But you don't get a sense of pride when you defeat that boss, unlike other bosses in that game. I don't need anything at the moment. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Uh, I just suppose that even Hollow Knight, though, has some bosses that are more annoying than they are, like, challenging. Although I can't really get one to come to mind. I guess maybe the Collector on all bindings because of his minions. Oh, Markoth, most definitely Markoth. That is one, and it's the ones that are notorious, I think, not for being challenging, but just being overly difficult. So it's like a floorless Markoth isn't really fun. It's just like an obstacle that you have to pass that takes more time than you feel it needs to, and you don't feel a sense of pride after that. A Markoth with floors, though, is kind of okay. He's still kind of annoying, I think. Oof, okay. Yeah. I suppose the feeling of that is difficult to explain, though. Because, like, you can say finally they're dead for any boss, but it's kind of how you feel going out of that boss, I guess. Because, like, I could probably, like, have struggled on a boss for 3 hours, be like, finally he's dead, and then think back on the boss and be like, honestly, that boss was so fun. I really like that boss. Its moveset was nice. I love the music, and so on. But then with an annoying boss, you literally just move on from it. You don't think back on it, and it's kind of like, I hated that so much. It was so annoying. What are you doing, so and so game developer? Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like I'm think I went up against that thing for maybe probably half an hour because its moveset is similar to other